I'm going to do a zombie blue-black build-around Diregraf captain out of cards that came out of the 2013 Deck Builders Toolkit that I just opened. Just to show you as a new player the kind of fun you could have with one of these. I already built another build-around on vampires. So this one's a zombie one. And I'm going to be using blue and black cards. I've already selected all the cards and put all my black creatures here and all my blue creatures. Of course, let me put that over there. And then I've got all my non-creature spells, sorceries, instants, and enchantments in here, black and blue. So what I'm going to do is go through the creatures first and assemble them in their order of converted mana cost and see what I come out with. So there's your 3 drops, 2 drops, heavies, and then your 2 drops. All your heavies go in one group because everything above 3 is, in my book, a heavy creature. So anything that's a zombie, it's gonna get first pick, and then everything else will be viewed on how much they contribute to the deck. These cards are a little thicker cardboard than what comes out of a pack, at least the ones that didn't come from the packs. So there you have it. So let's go through our 1-drops. So I've got Kraken Hatchling, which I'm not going to use even though it's a 1-drop. Windcrafter has got Soul Bond and it gives both creatures flying, so I'll keep it. Tormented Soul, the Rat, I think are keepers just because you need 1-drops in any deck, and these are all right as 1-drops, especially Typhoid Rats, which has Death Touch, and then Tormented Soul is unblockable. So we already have our 4 cards at 1-drop. That's pretty good. That's a good start. Even though we didn't have any 1-drop zombies in this selection. Then at the 2-drop level, I'm going to really be very nice to zombies and pick them first. So that we have that, that, and that. So we already have 4 zombies because we have a so-called zombie lord, or a card that gives us favors zombies and hates the autofocus, these black cards. We're going to keep those. So we already have 8 creatures there. And then in the case of these other creatures, creatures that put things in the graveyard are good because we have abilities to dig things from the graveyard. But I'm not going to go too crazy on them. I need this flyer and I need this rat, so that's 3. So I'm going to go with these 5. I'm going to need flyers. Then when it comes to 3, it wouldn't hurt to have a tapper on tapper creature. That's pretty good. Niblis of the Breath. Then it wouldn't hurt to have something undying, so that's also good. Then this is going to put things in my graveyard. I'm not sure if I want to play on that. When it deals combat damage, you can draw a card. That's good. The Nighthawks, of course. Wouldn't hurt to get some life in a casual deck. I'm not playing Exalted, so I don't really care. The Captain, of course, goes in. So I'm going to leave it at that. I think I'm not going to play on the graveyard in this deck. Then we got a bunch of flyers. All these are flyers. Not going to go crazy on the graveyard. See, I only have 1 card that can pick an instant or sorcery out of the graveyard. I don't think it's worth it for an entire deck to build around that theme. And neither is Driver of the Dead, which also recovers from your graveyard. These are very heavy. The shade can be pumped, but we're doing black and blue, so we may not have a lot of black to pump it. So I think I'm going to keep these. So far I've got 3. The autofocus really isn't happy with these cards. The black cards definitely. 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So I need about 5 more creatures. Boy, if only the autofocus would help. There's one, that helped. So that's 20. I need 4 more creatures. And I'm going to go for a couple of heavy flyers and then my Falcon Wrath. So there's my 24 creatures. So I'm done with creatures for this deck. Set them aside and start going through the non-creature spells. So, and I'm only going to pick light stuff. Not even going to bother with heavy stuff. Lots of good removal and black. This deck is looking like it's going to have a lot of powerful dodge. That's good. So there we had. So we picked 24 creatures, and I see here that I've got 30, 34, 38, 42, 43. So I still need 8 cards to go into my my side deck. So I would pick the curse card because it'll mill your opponent if you want to. This will allow you to gain life if you kill a human, so I'll put that in the sideboard as well. This one also gains life and deals damage. Not sure you'd want to drop a bunch of tokens in a zombie deck, but if you're desperate for cards, it's only a 4-drop. So I think we need a couple more, and I'll just pick some of these. Basically at random, as long as I don't pick anything out of the graveyard, which I decided not to use. So I'm going to put a couple of heavies in my creatures. These are in my non-creature spells, and do a quick review of the deck. So of course, this deck plays on other zombie creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever another zombie you control dies, target opponent loses 1 life. That's really, of course, this is a casual deck. You'd want to play a playset of that card. Got a bunch of flyers. Ravenous Rats will cause your opponent to discard a card. That's not bad. Then your Vampire is a flyer. That's also pretty good. Your Tormented Soul is unblockable, so that helps you. Typhoid Rats has Death Touch, which means that it'll kill anything that tries to kill it unless it has first strike. Your Windcrafter is going to give both creatures flying. Then in the case of Crypt Creeper, you can exile. Maybe your opponent has something in a graveyard that you're worried about. You can use it to exile that. Your Highborn Gal is, and these are zombies, so you're gaining already by doing that. It's got Intimidate. The Black Cat is great because when it dies, target opponent discards a card at random, and the random part is the most important one. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with Screeching Scab. It's going to put cards in my graveyard that I'm not sure I need, but I'll have to use it because I'm running out of creatures in a casual deck. Of course, 2 of the Nighthawks. That's, you know, a steady beater, flying Death Touch lifelink. You can't go wrong with that. Scroll Thief allows you to draw a card. The Geist is Undying. Then the Niblis is a tapper on tapper. Falcon Wrath Noble allows you to gain life and your opponent loses life when something dies. Then you got a couple of high flyers, you know, high converted mana cost flyers, and the Shade you can pump, right? The Liliana's Shade gets +1/+1 until end of turn. That's very useful. Then of course this card, it's a flyer, so it's a bat. Then the Gal has a first strike. It's a heavy one. Came out of the packs. It's uncommon. I think it did. Then this is just a heavy card that you're stuck with because you have a limited selection. The same way with the Vileborn Gal. But you can return it from your graveyard to your hand, so that's not bad. Artful Dodge. Now we're in the non-creature spells. Makes one of your cards unblockable. That's pretty good. Then you can counter a creature spell or a non-creature spell. You should do that a lot more often, but this is a casual deck, so you're limited by whatever came in that selection from the Deck Builder's Toolkit if you're a new player. Draw 2 cards, draw a card, enchant a creature, and you can't do the creature can't do anything. Draw for 2 life. You can do it to yourself or to your opponent. Destroy target creature, period. I love that because just kill something, whatever that is. Tapper, that's useful. Creature removal, if your opponent has non-vampire, not werewolf, not zombie. Wouldn't work in the mirror, of course, if your opponent had a bunch of zombies. Return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. If you were playing that theme, you play 3 more of these. Then you can pick something out of your opponent's deck with duress. Another victim of night. You can kill something. You can enchant it, try to kill it with -2/-2. You can exile a creature card from a graveyard. Again, another one. This is more like a desperation card that you put in your sideboard to be able to drop some tokens if you were having problems. You know, a casual sideboard is not going to be too exciting. Gain life, destroy creature, and mill your opponent.